It's a lovely good morning to everyone tuned in to Camnet TV. Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Off the Pitch, and I'm your host for today, Augustine Mwanza, aka Rio Flowers. Zambia mourns as we mourn the passing on of the fourth Republican President, Mr. Rupia Bwizanibanda, who was the patron of the Football Association of Zambia at some point. And to discuss all matters football, I'm not alone on set. I'm joined by Julius. Julius, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Augustine. Good morning to you. Hope you're well. A very sad moment indeed. We've lost our former patron of football, but anyway, life has to go on. Thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to having a great discussion with you this morning. Yeah, so what memories do you have of the former Republican president? I think he was someone who was very, very close to Chiparamba breakthrough. I think you remember even when the boys were going for the Gothia Cup in Sweden, he would invite them to the State House. He was someone who followed Zambian football. How big of a loss is it for the country? Yeah, well, memories are still fresh, Augustine. It takes me back to 2012 when we won the Africa Cup of Nations. Remember that this is a man that has always been passionate about football, always commenting about football. I remember a few weeks ago or a month ago, he was visited by one of his media personnel, and he was being interviewed, and he actually brought out some controversial statements, though, of telling us what really the problem, what he thinks the problem is in as far as the Zambia not qualifying to the Africa Cup of Nations 3 times in a row. So it's really sad that we have lost the man that really had a passion for Zambian football. This is a man that, I think for me, amongst all the presidents that we've had, this is a man that had a serious passion for the Zambia national team. His contributions to football in Zambia cannot go unnoticed. So we'll really miss him. He fought a good fight, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Yeah, Zambia mourns the fourth Republican president, Mr. Rupia Bwizanibanda, a senior statesman, someone who was very, very close to the game of football. And before we delve deep into our discussion, we have a lot that have been lined up for you. The ABSA Cup is on in Kitwe, quarterfinals, semi-final places up for grabs. We've got the English Premier League to talk about. Before we delve deep into our discussion, we'll just take a short break and we'll be back on the other side.
On Monday, 14th March 2022, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilwa as he hosts the Mines Minister, Honorable Paul Kaboswe.
We want to be cleared of the allegations that have been thrown around that the Ministry of Mines has been mishandling the issuance of the mining licenses. Of course, we have inherited a system. I must say that we inherited a system that was, I'll use a very bad word, the system was rotting.
At exactly 20:45 hours, as they discuss mining sector in Zambia, what is the way forward?
Any license that will have been issued in this period will be null and void.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
We still need more players, yes, because we need to balance the team. We need to have maybe on one position 3 or 4 players.
The third Camnet Stars football trial is on. This time, Camnet Stars are looking for young, talented and skilled soccer players between the age of 18 and 20 years old. Start your lucrative football career in Europe this July. If you know you are one of Zambia's best gifted soccer players, don't waste your time. On Sunday, the 13th March 2022, there will be trials for professional soccer stars. Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Time, registration 13 hours. Kick-off 14 hours. 100 kwacha non-refundable shall be paid, and your birth records must be produced upon registration. Camnet Stars, setting football standards for international market.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're still watching Off the Pitch here on Camnet TV, not just another channel. So Julius, we had an interesting encounter between the All Stars versus the Race, which took place in the Copper Belt. I think it was won by, is it the All Stars, by 1-0?
It was won by the Race.
The Race, yeah. So what was your assessment of the game?
I think it's first things first. Augustine, it was a good practice match, first practice match for our new appointed national team coach. It was a test for him to pick which players are going to be part and parcel of that squad that's going to face Iraq in that friendly game, and also as they get ready for the CHAN. The All Stars was being coached by our national team coach, our JOSA, and then the rest, that's the Copper Belt select team, was being coached by Dabi Chiluka, who's the Indeni coach, assisted by Boyd Mulwanda, Kansanshi Dynamo's coach. I did follow through the game, though I was a little bit busy, but I did manage to follow through the game. I watched the first half of the game. I must say that the Copper Belt select team, that's the rest team that actually won, I did play a better game. I love the coordination between the boys. The boys really coordinated very well. To me it looked as though this is a team that has been together for a very long time, and this team hasn't been together for a long time. They just actually assembled together, just for a few days, a day or not, or so. So really, for me, the coach has really got a lot of work to do in as far as forming that team is concerned. But then another worry is that every time we have a coach, Augustine, they always have to say they're forming a team. But the question is, for how long are we going to form that team? Because we're running out of time, man. We haven't qualified to the Africa Cup 3 times in a row. This is not a time to build a team. That's even the reason why actually Coach Mitchell was fired. You know, there's an issue of, building a team, for how long are you going to build the team is a question. So for me, it's high time that Coach Aljosa gets to work and really work really fast, because fans out there are really burning. They're looking forward to Zambia qualifying and playing the Africa Cup of Nations. So really, as things stand, we are really desperate in as far as football is concerned, especially talking about the national team. But then also, for me, it would have been better, Augustine, if our coach would have also maybe, I don't know if he does take time to watch the Aiden National League. Trust me, there's some players that can be picked from that league and be able to represent the country in as far as playing for the national team is concerned. So I don't know if he doesn't, but I've seen him on many occasions being at the Super League games, watching some of his games. So really, coming back to that game that was played at Nkana Stadium, the coach really has a lot of work to do. You could see that the coach was fuming on the touchline. You know him, for the fans that have followed soccer very well, for the fans that have watched Zambia play in the few matches that he was technical director or technical advisor to Coach Beston Chambeshi. The guy was more active than Coach Beston Chambe. He's that type of a coach. So I could see him fuming on the touchline. But I think I must say congratulations to Coach Dabi Chilufya and Boyd Mulwanda for assembling such a powerful team. But all in all, at the end of the day, they were both teams were Zambians playing. But I must say that the Copper Belt Select team played a better game compared to the All Stars that was being coached by our national team coach.
Yeah, I think interestingly, I think in my own analysis, I think this game, I think to me, I don't know why we had to have this kind of a game between All Stars between the against the rest. Because my question is, why should we be having this kind of games this time? And if you look at the way football has changed, I think we used to have this 25 years ago, where they used to have these All Stars versus the rest and stuff like that. The reason why is that during that time there wasn't enough information about the players across the league, and they were, in terms of technology, I think we were a little bit behind during that time. But now that we have got SuperSport on board, these games are being shown live on TV. Most of these football clubs, they go live on Facebook when this SuperSport is not showing. So I think, to me, I find it strange to think, why are we having this game in a week whereby we're having ABSA games? Teams have to be preparing for the only cup competition in the land, and then you are engaging them in an exhibition match, for lack of a better term. I think it was pretty much disappointing, because if we are going to have this, those are trials, let's be honest, those are trials, and you cannot be having trials for Super League teams to be having trials for the national team. If you're gonna have go that way, I think you could have gone for National League players and players from the maybe Division 1, Provincial Division 1, maybe that would have made a lot of sense, because I do not see any reason why you're going to try out Prosper Chidua in an All-Stars game whereby he plays Africa Cup and World Cup qualifiers. It doesn't make any sense to me. It was good probably for boys like Miguel Chaiwa, who is a young and upcoming young player, maybe Owen Tembo, who hasn't played for the national team, who is for Congo Bay. So I think, to me, it was a bit disappointing to see that Football Association of Zambia have got a lot of selectors, and they need to see these players in an exhibition match for them to be selected. I think, to me, it's very disappointing.
I think, Augustine, like you rightly put it, the challenge maybe that the Zambian Football Association of Zambia and the coach maybe can have at the moment is that, let's look at the coach. He's a newly appointed coach. Yeah. And you remember when he came in as technical advisor to Coach Beston Chambeshi. So I don't think he really had much time to know these players very well. Him being given the job, he's coming in as a new coach. All right, he's coming in as a new coach, and if really we're going to say he has to pick players based on what he has seen or how he's been watching them play at their respective teams, I think, for me, will really be unfair to him. Because, today, how players are. Today they're in good form, tomorrow they're not in good form. Today he may pick Ricky Banda. What happens if Ricky Banda doesn't perform very well when he's called upon at the national team? So I think it's important that Faz had to organize such kind of a game, so that the coach, he's able to test the waters for himself. He's able to see that, okay, this player that I picked indeed really can perform. So for me, Augustine, I feel I think it's a good move that Faz had organized the two games. Actually, there's going to be another game in Lusaka. I don't know if it's been postponed, but I'm reliably informed that there's going to be another game in Lusaka. That will be the last test for the coach. I think, for me, what's important for the coach is he should be able to pick players on merit. It's important if he's going to pick players on merit. There are so many players, Augustine, that have been playing very good football in the Super League. So it's important that he should pick players on merit. And like I earlier said, it's also important for him to go to these lower leagues and be able to tap talent from there. Because trust me, we're able to pick talent and be able to build a stronger team from there, other than just depending on these, for lack of a better term, maybe tired legs.
Yeah. So as Ayose Asanovic, the Zambia national soccer team coach, has assembled a 20-man squad that will play Iraqi in the friendly. Zambia were scheduled to play, is it Guinea and South Africa, and the friendlies didn't go through. So now Zambia have settled for Iraqi, and he has picked a 20-man squad based of local players. No foreign player will be part of this game because it's not on FIFA International Day. So the players that have been picked to camp are Red Arrows goalkeeper Charles Kalumba, Lamek Siame, Sensational Zanako, Lawrence Mulenga, Power Dynamos. Your quick reaction with the three goalkeepers that have been picked?
For me, it's I think they're the best goalkeepers that we have in as far as the local players are concerned, especially that it's been played out of a FIFA calendar. So in as far as the local players are concerned, it's a good move. Goalkeeper Charles Kalumba, goalkeeper for Red Arrows, been doing very well. He's been saving those balls for Red Arrows. If you have to talk about Lawrence Mlenga, Power Dynamos goalkeeper, he was actually the goalkeeper for the Fan Select team that played the All Stars team. So he's also doing very well. So for me, I think all the three goalkeepers are a good call-up for the national team. That's in as far as the local players are concerned. So for me, it's a good call-up.
Yeah. So for the defenders, he has picked Dominic Chanda of Kawe Warriors, Prosper Chiluya of Red Arrows, Solomon Sakala and Shemi Maembe, both Zesco United, and Miguel Chaiwa of Shamil. Sorry, we have got a call on the line. Good morning, you are through to Off the Pitch.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and where you are calling us from?
This is Marumo Kennedy calling you from Choma.
Yeah, you can go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I must contribute on Indian football.
Okay.
Zambian soccer has really gone down late. Looking at the fact that the people who normally team, I don't know what they usually look at. Because when we compare the football of what people really were seeing passion. Players of nowadays, I don't know if they only play for money or what, because their contribution to football really is poor. So I think the coaches and everyone who's they should go flat up countrywide to select players on merit. Because these guys who play in big clubs should just play for money. So we put players on the grassroots. You go flat out, example here where I am, there are a lot of teams who put a lot of players. Let these people go flat out, not only concentrating to soccer, for public projects in these big towns. So let them balance, move out in each and every corner of the country to help and get people who are talented with the passion to play, not just playing for money. We'll be able to have some fun. Just because they are going to play a coach, a friendly match. Therefore, they are using allowances from our taxpayers' money, whereby at the end of the day, they bring up my zero. So we want players who passion to play, the players who can contribute to the lovely game of football in Zambia, because nowadays they don't actually have the heart for us to find that time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming through.
I think Augustine, the previous caller, was just echoing the words of Coach Wada.
Exactly what Wada was talking about.
The man said, I think players now in the national team are not, or rather in the Super League teams, are not playing for. They don't have a passion to play, but they're only playing for the money, which is true.
Exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. So if you can just go quickly through the list again. Defenders, we've got Dominic Chanda Warriors, Prosper Chiluya Red Arrows, Solomon Sakala, Shemi Maembe, both Zesco United. We've got Miguel Chaiwa, one exciting young lad from Shameo Academy, but I think he's back at Atletico. He was on loan at Shameo. Benedict Chepeshi, Red Arrows, Spencer Sautu, Donashano Malama, Kelvin Kampamba, all from Zesco United. Prince Mumbaka Warriors, Joshua Mutale Power Dynamos, Kelvin Kapumbu, and Abraham Siankombo, both from Zanaco. And strikers, we've got Moses Piri, Derek Wulaya, Green Eagles, Patrick Gondwenkana, and Alex Bazongonga. I think your reaction to the overall squad, I think for me it's a surprise that we do not see top scorer number 2 and number 3 in Ricky Banda and Albert Kangwanda, who has been not just the leading scorer for Kafeso League, but one of the best players in the league, if you have to be honest.
Yeah, I think I was just telling you this even before we came we came on air on the program. For me, I think it's high time, Augustine, that we get rid of some of the tired legs. Yeah, it's high time that we get rid of the tired legs. When Preston Chambeshi was asked to take care of the Zambian national team during that period, we didn't have a coach. The majority of players that were picked in the national team were players from Nkana, because at the time he was Nkana head coach. We saw the likes of Basil coming to to the national team. Obviously, he failed to prove himself during the final cut, and he was obviously cut off. But look at this, Augustine. Let's be realistic. Why would we call players because we have a relationship with them? Why would we call players because obviously there's just something that we share with them? I think that should come to an end. We need to pick players, like even the previous caller said, we need to pick players on merit. A player has to score if you have to call them to the national team and be a striker. It's about being active at the team where you're playing. You cannot call Basil and leave out players like Ricky Banda, who's been banging in those goals, Albert Kambanda, who's been banging in those goals.
Luchanga. I think
exactly, the boy is back. The golden boy is back.
Of
course, he's been off some time, but now the boy is back from the time that he joined the correct boys prison Lapers. He's been doing very well. So there's no way that you can leave out such talent and be able to bring people like Basil. I'm not hating on Basil, but let's look at the form, for crying out loud. Really, for me, looking at some of the players that have been called, coach should consider. I'm actually even asking myself, is it really the coach picking, or maybe there's some Western Championship influence in the way these players are being picked? But for me, I would love to know the criteria being used for some of the players that have been picked. The likes of Donashano Malama, I think he's had his time. He's just resurrected at Zesco United. He's had his time. I don't think he's supposed to be included in that squad. Benedict Chepeshi, he's been playing very well at Red Arrows. For me, that's a good call-up. Spencer Sautu, well, I have a little bit of doubt for the Prince of Choma, but let's give him a benefit of doubt. Kelvin Mubanga Kampamba, this is a boy that, when he's in good form on that particular day, the boy can play sweet, good football. So for me, it's a good call-up. Dominic Chanda, this is one of the players that has always been called to the national team. Even during Mitchell's time, he has been called. So it's a good move, been doing very well in as far as defense is concerned for Cabo Warriors Football Club. Prince Mumba has been one of the regular call-ups for the national team. He's always doing very well, playing for Cabo Warriors in that midfield, the man in the middle of the park.
To cut you short, Julius, we've got a caller on the line. Good morning, you're through to Off the Pitch. Who am I speaking to? Hello, you're through to Off the Pitch.
Hello, this is Darren Judah.
Sorry?
This is Darren Judah. I'm calling you from Lusaka.
Yes, you can go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yes, I'd like to comment on the selections of players that have been called to the national team.
Okay.
Yes, I think the new coach has made a blunder by calling Solomon Sakala. Solomon Sakala is not active nowadays at Zesco.
Okay, thank you.
Then you talk of Dashan Malama also is not all that active at Zesco. He has left players that would have been helping the team, like Konrad Luchanga, who is in on form, who plays for Prison Leopards, Albert Kambanda for Kapile Celtic. He has also left a player who has been performing well at Red Arrows, that is Ricky Banda. So I don't know these coaches, the criteria they are using to pick players, or they are just using names to select players to the national team. That's the reason why mostly we fail to perform well, because the criteria these coaches use, I don't know, we are, it's just one and the same. We are just back to the same things where it was, we are back where it was during it, Sunday. I don't know. So I think the coach has to consider that they need to check and see how we can develop our game, on how to get Solomon Sakala. Solomon Sakala is a big woman nowadays at Facebook. How do you call players like Olomugulaya, who's really good, has been banging goals at home at Choma and United Stadium? But if you leave Ricky Banda, it's not something that can help our nation.
Thank you very much for coming through.
The last thing that I can say.
Okay. Sorry, we've lost the caller. So I think he's brought up very, very good points. I think it's the same players that we've been talking about, Konrad Luchanga, Ricky Band. I think if I can throw in a couple of names that I thought would have made the squad. I think is one impressive centre-back at Zanako Mango, who has been probably one of their best players, the young centre-back. I think he's been doing very well. Zakaria Chirongosh, I think to me, I think when the time he moved from Power Dynamos to to Prison Leopards. He has rediscovered his form. We've seen players like Yusuf Saddam. Is probably the focal point of Red House midfield and would have made the cut. And surprisingly is that they have picked Prosper Chilwe ahead of Kebison Kamanga, who starts ahead of Prosper Chilwe at the club. I think to me, it's interesting how we've done this selection.
Augustine, just echoing the words of the previous caller, he's actually used the right term, where the new coach has made a blunder. Indeed, it's a blunder. If the national team, if we had a local coach to be in charge of a national team as it now, would have said maybe that particular coach is being bust, depending on the team where that coach is coming from. But then us having a neutral person in that position as a national team coach, so really, that's really a blunder indeed. There's no way that you can, this is your first assignment, and man, this is a coach that has been at the stadium many times to watch some of his players play their games. Now, just like you said, the likes of Ricky Banda, Yusuf, obviously we might not talk of Chamanga, he's had his time. We can also look at Albert Kangwanda, Zakaria Chilongoshi. If I'm going to talk about Zakaria Chilongoshi, for me, he's never been off form. That's my opinion. But he's never been off form. From the time that he left Cabo, the time that he was at Cabo, he's been good. He's been brilliant. He left. He went to Power Dynamo. So we didn't really see much of him. But even the time that he was at Power Dynamo, he was still being called at the national team. He comes back to Cabo. He joins Prison Leopards. He's been brilliant. He's been a marvel to watch. Those are the players that really you can leave in the squad, and you bring the likes of Bazo Ngonga, Solomon Sakala. These are boys that used to make blunders. You remember under 20 during their time. So really, for me, it's a blunder. I'm hoping that this should not be the last cut. But if really this is the last cut, it's really going to be tough for us to win as we play Iraq in that friendly match.
Yeah. Interesting enough, I think we have had some wonderful views from the viewers. You can as well contribute to the program. You can phone in, the lines are scrolling on your screen. And let's now move to the ABSA Cup. It's a game where there's question mark. Are the games going to go ahead, or do we have the ABSA Cup this afternoon at Davis Stadium?
Just maybe before we get to the Africa Cup, Augustine, ABSA Cup, just before the previous caller came in, you brought in the issue of Zambia playing Iraq in the international friendly match. I remember that we were supposed to actually play South Africa and Guinea, but then unfortunately we've been disappointed by the SAFA, South African Football Association. They decided to go behind our back and involved Guinea and France in those two friendly games. So really sad that that development had to come through. But of course, Football Association of Zambia came to our rescue and they were able to secure Iraq in that game. Talking of Iraq, they are one of the most successful teams in Asia. They've appeared they've appeared for the World Cup once, that was in 1986. So really, for me, I think it's good that we are playing against a team that has appeared at the World Cup tournament before. For us, Augustine, we've never appeared at the World Cup. Remember that we were on the verge of appearing at the World Cup, but remember the disaster that happened in Gabon when we were on our way going to Senegal to play that World Cup qualifying match, and may the souls of the 1993 team continue to rest in peace. So I think for me it's a good game that FAS has organized for our team, and I'm looking forward to that game and hoping that we're going to win, even as we get ready to play those Ivory Coast World Africa Cup qualifying matches.
Yeah, so I think to me it's interesting that we are playing Iraqi. A lot of people out there have criticized the opposition, but if you look at
it's a very good move. This is a team that appeared at the World Cup,
and they are ranked above us. I think Iraqi are 74th and we are 88th. What do we expect to get when we are number 88?
One thing, Augustine, that people should know is that it's not easy to organize a match with some of these big countries. You know, it's not like you just write a letter to them today and they can easily respond to you. There's a process that has to be followed. So really, if we can have the likes of Iraqi, really, it's a good move. Not very bad. Yeah.
So now we will look at the ABSA Cup. We have got a big one in Green Eagles versus Zesco United. So if you look at the 8 teams that have qualified in the ABSA Cup, we have got 5 that have won it, and only two that haven't made it to the finals, which is Green Eagles and Lumwana Rangers. How do you see this tournament panning out this time around?
Well, we're hoping that the tournament is going to go on as things stand. We are on standby, waiting for maybe the Football Association and also the ABSA Bank to confirm if at all the two games will be played at the Davis today or not. Yeah, but then coming to talk of the games that will be played today, Augustine, today we have Green Eagles Zesco, and then we also have Lumwana Radiance taking on Nkana. Like I said last week, Augustine, it would be good to see Lumwana get into the semi-finals, if possible, even the finals. But I know that it's not going to be easy because Nkana has got the experience. I'm sure they also want to go as far as the final is concerned in this ABSA tournament. They're actually the 2018 champions of this tournament, so they know what it means to win this ABSA tournament, and especially that the money has been increased this time around. That the winners of the tournament are going to walk away with the 650,000. So really, it's going to be an interesting match. But obviously, the game of the weekend this weekend is going to be Green Eagles Zesco United. Zesco United being the favorites in this game and also in this tournament. They've actually got 6 titles to their name in as far as the ABSA tournament is concerned. So obviously they're looking forward to having the 7th title to their name. Out of the 8 games that they've played previously, they've managed to collect 6 wins. They've lost 1, they've drawn 1. So already for me, Augustine, that shows you that this is a team that's in for competition. It's really going to be an interesting game. For me, this is going to be the final of, I said this on the show last week and I'm going to say this again. For me, this is going to be the final of the tournament. Talking of Green Eagles as well, they've been doing very well, especially when they're playing at home. I think Coach Agri Chiangi has managed to assemble a good side, a good coordination on the pitch with the boys. He's assembled a local side. So really, they've also played in the previous eight games that they've played, Augustine. They've managed to win 5 games and draw 3 games. Already that's good form of a team. So already that shows you that it's going to be a mouth-watering fixture, even as they take on Zesco United this afternoon at the Davis Stadium. Though we're still waiting for confirmation from the Football Association of Zambia.
So as we stand, the only cup competition is not confirmed whether we are going to go on with the games or not. But if you look at Nkana against Lumwana Radiance, Quicksilver playing a side that he coached once in Lumwana Radiance when he left Nkana, any chances of an upset? The cup romance that we always have last season, we saw Concola Blades beating Forest Rangers. Are we going to see this again this time around?
It's very much possible, especially that he's facing a side that he once coached. So we're not talking of a team that's not doing very well in as far as the Aden National League is concerned. This is a team that's in the top 4. Actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it should be position 3 or position 2 on the log in as far as the Aden National League is concerned. So obviously, it's not going to be an easy game for Nkana, especially looking at their form. They have not really. They are on position, should be 4 or 5 in the MTN Super League. So it's possible that Lumwana Radiance can cause an upset. It's very difficult to always play against a team that you're underrating. They might just shock you and collect those 3 points.
Maximum points.
Yeah. When you play them. So it's possible that they can cause an upset. But if I was to be asked which team I think is going to win in that game, for me, I can go for Lumwana Radiance.
Yeah, so if you look at Sunday, we've got, it's packed with Lusaka derbies. We've got Green Buffaloes facing Napsa Stars and the Red Arrows. Nkwazi, you take on those 2 games.
Green Buffaloes, Napsa Stars are squaring it off in a repeat of the 2017 quarterfinals. It's going to be an interesting match. Both teams are from Lusaka. Obviously, they know each other. They know how they play. Coach Justin Chinama facing Coach Perry Mutapa. Perry Mutapa as well. Been struggling a little bit, trying to find his winning ways back. They're actually coming in from a loss. They lost to Nchanga Rangers. Remember that game that we talked about last week?
Exactly.
That was a game of the Aden National League, because everybody was looking forward. They were actually leading in that game. Brave Changa Rangers came from behind and they managed to score 3 goals, and they collected the maximum point on that particular day. Obviously, we know Perry for his mind games, always playing those mind games. Obviously, there's some statements that were airing on social media this past days. But then, when they played in 2017, ABSA Stars won in post-match penalty 3-2. It was a 1-1 draw in the 90 minutes, and it went to penalties. Looking at the form of both teams as well, Green Buffaloes have been struggling, especially in the second league. You remember that in the first league they went about 17 or 16 games and beaten, but this time around, tables have changed for coach Justin Chinama. They lost to they lost to Zesco United. They lost to last week. They traveled to Solezi. They lost to Boyd Mulwanda's team. So really, they also haven't been doing very well from the time that Friday Samu left them and joined the Maritzburg team in South Africa. So if I was to be fair, really, I think I'm going to have a soft spot for Green Buffaloes and hoping that they can win this game. But obviously, it's not going to be easy. You know that when you're playing a team that you do play with in the same town, it's really difficult, because obviously you know how you play. So it's like it's going to be a local derby kind of a game. So, but I'm going to give a benefit of doubt to Green Buffaloes, and hoping that they're going to pull through to the semi-finals.
And just quickly, men in uniform, Red Arrows playing Kwazi. They've already made this season. Red Arrows won the game by 1-0. How do you see this panning out?
The Airmen keep flying high. They are 55 points on top. They have 55 points on top. They are leading the table. They come facing 2015 finalists at Nkwazi Football Club. Nkwazi haven't really been performing very well. I think they've lost about 5 or 6 games. So really, man, looking at the form of Red Arrows have got a pool of players that they can pick from. Even though they do not have a veteran Chamanga, they can still perform. Actually, this time around they'll be facing Nkwazi without their head coach Chisimbewe, who's in Tanzania attending that coaching course. So I'm sure that the assistant coach and the other technical staff on the technical bench still have the system and still what it takes. They have what it takes to help the boys be able to win and proceed to the semi-finals. But still talking about Red Arrows, Augustine, looking at their form, those boys have been playing sweet football. They are coordinating very well on the field of play. If really they're going to have a good day like they've always been having in the past games, I see them winning that game. The likes of Yusuf, Benedict Chepeshi, we have Diarra, who's always, causing problems in that midfield for Red Arrows. We have Shibwabwa, one of the few defenders that I've seen who's found in the 18 and causing problems in the defense of opponents. So really, the Red Arrows have been doing very well. They've got a better squad, and they are the favorites in this game. They are likely to even get to the finals of this tournament. I have a soft spot for them. I see them winning that game. I don't see Nkwazi, but obviously not with a huge scoreline, but I see them winning and proceeding to the next stage of the tournament.
Yeah. So just a comment from our Facebook page, I think comes from Memory Mudenda. Seriously, the coach has a lot to do. We have good players playing in the National League who can do better than those in the Super League. How do you react to that comment? Just read that comment. Let's read that comment again.
Yeah.
We have got a lot of players that are doing well, playing in the Eden League. There are some who are doing better than those in the Super League.
The reason why I told you to read that comment again is like this. My sister memory is just echoing my words that I said when I earlier brought in when I was earlier giving a comment about the teams that have been picked. Augustine, very true. For me, I actually support your memory 100% on that one. It would have been important. I think we should engage the Football Association of Zambia so that they can advise the new coach. You should be able to go around the country and be able to pick talent. Like I said, Augustine, I think what memory is trying to say in a nutshell is that players should be picked on merit. And not just picked because there's a relationship with a particular coach or something like that, or maybe with one of the officials from the Football Association of Zambia. Players should really be picked on merit, and that's exactly what Memory is saying. For me, I agree with you, Memory, 100%. Like the earlier caller said, it's a blunder. Indeed, it's a blunder. The selection of a team, it's a blunder.
You can also have your say by calling in or texting us on our Facebook page, and we'll react to the comment. At this particular moment, we'll just take a short break and we'll be back on the other side talking European football.
On Monday, 14th March 2022, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilwa as he hosts the Mines Minister, Honorable Paul Kaboswe.
We want to be cleared of the allegations that have been thrown around that the Ministry of Mines has been mishandling the issuance of the mining licenses. Of course, we have inherited a system. I must say that we inherited a system that was, I'll use a very bad word, the system was rotting.
At exactly 20:45 hours, as they discuss mining sector in Zambia, what is the way forward?
Any license that will have been issued in this period will be null and void.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
We still need more players, yes, because we need to balance the team. We need to have maybe on one position 3 or 4 players.
The third Camnet Stars football trial is on. This time, Camnet Stars are looking for young, talented and skilled soccer players between the age of 18 and 20 years old. Start your lucrative football career in Europe this July. If you know you are one of Zambia's best gifted soccer players, don't waste your time. On Sunday, the 13th March 2022, there will be trials for professional soccer stars. Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Time, registration 13 hours. Kick-off 14 hours. 100 kwacha non-refundable shall be paid, and your birth records must be produced upon registration. Camnet Stars, setting football standards for international market.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're still watching Off the Pitch here on Camnet TV, not just another channel. So we'll now shift to the European League, Julius. We've seen the happenings in Ukraine and Russia, how they have been affecting football. And one particular club that has been affected badly is Chelsea Football Club. The sanctions on Roman Abramovich. How do you analyze the whole situation?
Very sad development, especially for us football fans. I think for me, I'm not going to take any sides. Whatever is happening between the two countries is very, very sad. We've seen a lot of sanctions. The Ukrainian league has been suspended. Augustine, the Russian league also, and other sporting activities in that country have been suspended till further notice. The UEFA Champions League final was supposed to take place in Russia. It's been moved to Paris. The Grand Prix for Formula One also has been moved, and the game, the World Cup qualifying match involving Russia and Poland and Sweden. Poland and Sweden actually refused to play Russia because of whatever is happening. So really, whatever happenings that are happening in Russia and Ukraine are really bad. That's bad news and bad development, especially for us football fans. If we're going to talk about sponsorship, a lot of Russian businessmen have invested a lot in football teams. The likes of Roman Abramovich, who's been blacklisted from the UK already. That's causing problems for Chelsea. We've seen already Chelsea being put on sale. Actually, there have been stories that Chelsea, maybe one of the Zambians should be able to buy Chelsea. But yeah, very, very sad development. We've seen one of the sponsors for Manchester United cutting ties with Manchester United. So really, it's a sad development, and we're hoping that that war should really come to an end very, very soon, because Russia has made a lot of development in as far as sporting is concerned. I was doing a little bit of research. They are actually president from the time he took over, I think in 1999 or so. There's been so much in as far as development is concerned. Remember that this is a country that hosted the World Cup. So and actually FIFA issued a statement a few weeks ago. They said if whatever is happening in Russia continues, the consequences are going to be ghastly, and the consequences will be worse than they are right now. So really, whatever is happening, Augustine, in a nutshell, is really sad, and we're looking forward to a time that all those things are going to be sorted out, and we should be able to, life should get back to normal in as far as activities of football and sport are concerned. Remember that Manchester City has got a player that comes from
Zinchenko.
The West Ham have also got a player, the Real Madrid goalkeeper as well. So really, I'm sure these players are really traumatized and disturbed. You can imagine your family at home, you don't know whether they are safe or not, and where you are, you're safe. So really, it's not a good thing. It's really disturbing, especially for the players that are coming from that side. We've seen teams displaying those banners of no war. Napoli and Barcelona a few weeks ago, when they displayed those banners of no war. So really, it's a sad development of whatever is happening as far as football is concerned. Very sad, especially that there are more problems at Chelsea now. I was listening to a statement by their coach Thomas Tuchel, where he said, I think for him, he says he's not disturbed so long as the team has got the bus and the t-shirts to wear, football has to go on. That's Thomas Tuchel, and I think that's what the boys and the coach need at the moment. Talking about the bus, I think there's a challenge with Chelsea buying fuel, because their bank accounts have been frozen, because they have got a bank account with Barclays, and Barclays have frozen those bank accounts. As things stand, Chelsea do not have the money to even buy fuel for the team bus. Very, very sad. But then some of the things that they cannot do at the moment, Chelsea, they can't sign any player. They also can't sign any deal with any sponsor to come on board. But then some of the things that they can do, those season holders can still watch the game, and they can. they can still play their game at their home ground. So actually in the UK, the way it is, Augustine, is that people do buy a seasonal card for the whole season just to go and watch a match. It's different from us in Zambia. We haven't really seen that being effective. There are a few teams that I know. Kawaras has got that access, I think, for people to buy seasonal cards and just be able to watch the games till the season is done. But I haven't really seen much from most of the teams here in Zambia. But that's very common in Chelsea. So in the UK, sorry. So it's very sad for what's happening in as far as Chelsea is concerned. And you know that Roman Abramovich is one of the guys that has really invested a lot in Chelsea football club. So it's very sad.
Just to run through fixtures for today in the English Premier League. Brighton of Albion will take on Liverpool, 14:30 hours kickoff at the Amex. Enoch Mwepu is expected to return in this game. Then the Bees,
after an injury.
Yes, after a long-term injury. Then the Bees, Brentford will take on Burnley. This is probably a relegation fight. We'll see Manchester United take on Tottenham Hotspur for a place for fighting for the fourth spot. Newcastle will visit Stamford Bridge to play Chelsea, and Everton will play Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Goodson Park. Frank Lampard has struggled ever since he went to Everton. Leeds United will face Norwich at Ellen Road. Then we'll see Southampton taking on Watford, the struggling Watford at St Mary's. Then West Ham United at the London Stadium will host Steven Gerrard and Aston Villa. Arsenal tomorrow will come Patson Dhaka and Leicester City. Then Crystal Palace and Manchester City will round off the fixtures. When midweek Champions League results, we saw Bayern Munich beating Salzburg by 7-0. Then we saw Manchester City playing out to a goalless draw with Sporting Lisbon, and we saw Liverpool losing to Inter Milan. Your quick reaction with the results in the Champions League?
With the results in the Champions League, Augustine, can we safely say we have some teams that have already qualified to the quarterfinals? Some of the teams are Liverpool, Man City, Real Madrid, and Bayern. The big ones. Those are, especially Bayern, this is a team that has always been part of this UEFA Champions League. Real Madrid as well. So Liverpool as well representing the teams in England. Man City as well. Man City and Liverpool doing very well in as far as the English Premier League is concerned. First and second position. But then quickly for me, Augustine, allow me to talk about the Manchester United game and also the Tottenham game that will be played tonight. Manchester United, remember they were in number 4, top 4 position. But then with Arsenal winning Watford, Arsenal managed to pull down Manchester United and be able to get to the 4th position. If I heard you right, you were saying the two teams are fighting for the 4th slot, of which for me I don't think so. Obviously they're fighting for the 5th slot because Arsenal is facing Leicester City tomorrow, and I don't see Arsenal losing. Remember in the first round Arsenal won against Leicester City. I support Arsenal, but then it's going to be tough to see one of my favorite boys, Patson Dhaka, play against my team. But for tomorrow, I think may the best team win. Yeah. Against that's Arsenal, Leicester City. Arsenal at hard chest, but also Patson Dhaka at heart.
Hello. You are free to off the pitch. Who's on the line?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. That's a familiar voice.
Yeah.
Are you on your way to Kitwe? Or you're on your way to one of those stadiums to just have a good time?
Don't even mind about what's happening in Kitwe. Ghana is a big team and they're carrying today.
Are you aware of Mwana Regents also a big team?
We have been trying to get in touch with people from the Football Association of Zambia to confirm if the games are going on. Do you have any information regarding the ABSA Cup games this afternoon?
As far as I know, the games are on. The players need to they also need to pass to black companies to proceed. Unless something catastrophic happens between now and the peak of time that they are all set for the game this afternoon.
Thank you very much. You can go ahead with your contribution.
All right. Coming to the national team selection, I think when I saw the list of the local players, I have quite a couple of observations to talk about those different players. But I think this is the reason why we took on the coach of his caliber to use his own legacy and his own team. So maybe what we need to give is a little bit of chance. Because remember that all soccer fans have their own opinions and they have their own list of players that they want to see featuring for the national team. But I think this is a well-trained man, well-raised, well-experienced, and probably I've seen one or two cases the players that were speaking that should not be in the national team. I think for me, it's to be given a bit of time before we can judge. So coming to the after game, this afternoon. Well, the one already has been verified in the Asian National Region 1, and now they are facing a very, very big land in the name of Ghana Football Club, and I think in that particular match, my prediction is very, very simple. It will be up and down, and I'm seeing that game getting into extra time. It will not settle in the regulation time, so it will have to go to extra time. And of course, the experience will give Ghana an advantage over America in that order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Skombe.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much, and we'll be joining you so we have begin and around the city of Lusaka to do that next weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming through. Your quick reaction and your closing remarks as we are about to end.
I know the reason why Mr. Skombe has absconded from the show, Augustine, and I hope he's listening to this. It's because he knows that his team is going to go down today. So he was scared to be attacked by you and I. So really, but anyway, we understand. It's just one of these things. We understand. Don't worry, Mr. Skombe. We're with you. We know that Ghana is going to.
And your closing remarks, Julius.
Thank you very much, Augustine, for having me on the show this morning. It's always great to be home. Camnet is home for me. But also on a sad note, we are mourning our former patron, His Excellency Rupia Bozanibanda, 4th Republican President of the Republic of Zambia. May his soul rest in eternal peace. This is a man that had contributed positively to Zambian football. So many people would go to him for counsel and seek wisdom in as far as football is concerned. Our thoughts are with the Banda family, Mama Tandiwe, and the Banda family, that's the children and the rest of the family. And I think memories will still be fresh. We still remain with memories of our former president, and I think as a best way to pay tribute or homage to the former president, the national team needs to qualify the Africa Cup of Nations by all costs, as a way of mourning our former president who really had a passion for the game. Lastly, Augustine, all the very best to the teams that will be playing the ABSA games today. That's Lumwana Rangers in Kana, may the best team win. Green Eagles and Zanaco, may the best team win. And also the teams that will be playing tomorrow, that's Kwazi Arrows and also Green Buffaloes and Napsa Stars. All the very best. Thank you so much once again for having me, and lovely day to the viewers and lovely day to you too.
Thank you very much, Julius. And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we come to the end of the show. It's been a wonderful show. I think we like to thank everyone that tuned in to watch this show. We always value your contribution via Facebook platforms or calling in. And a big thanks to the entire production team that made this possible. And we say goodbye. Stick to your televisions, as Amazing Katamanda is coming up with a weekly gospel. Goodbye for now.